to A Pinch of Basil. I am your host with the most. That's right, the very gorgeous and lovely Basil, Herb and Rosemary's son, and we are back. We are back from that 4th of July break, and it was great. I am here with my wonderful and beautiful co-host, Janice Hermson, and, of course, how can we do this show without our chief engineer, Christian Meyer? Don't forget, we stream live on Facebook. You can also listen in on the TuneIn app on any phone or device. Once you have the app, just search America Matters. If you're on the computer, go to americamatters.us. We really want to hear from all of you. Listen, folks, like I said, we do this all over the country, all over the world. You can catch us on Facebook, on Basile Fans, Basile Fans. You can catch us on Greek Beat Radio.
Greek Beat Radio.
You got to love the effects. Anyway, you can catch us anywhere. We really want to hear from you. So go to my Basile Fans page on Facebook. That's BASILEFANS. Check us out. Like us. We stream live this show all over the world, from Australia throughout Europe and South America. Believe it or not, I just finally got a few emails from there, from Greeks down there, and some of my fans that moved down there. So listen, we're all over the place. We truly are. And if you have any questions, just give us a call at 844-790-8255. You can also text Janice.
Yeah,
Janice, give me that wonderful text number.
You woke me up, but it's 775-237-2266.
Oh, my God. Call in right now, folks. We're, like I said, we are heard all around the world. And I'm very proud to say that it's only going to get bigger and better. We have our wonderful friend, Congressman Gus Bilirakis, will be on the show today. And we're going to be discussing some things that really have, pissed me off. And I think I will. I am a good Christian boy, a Greek Orthodox boy. And I don't like when people mess around with my church, especially when it's in Turkey. And, Hagia Sophia, and we'll get there in a little bit. We'll talk about that and discuss all the things that's going on right now. A few things as far as, things that are happening. Again, we've been delayed with tours. There's nothing we can do about it. It's part of the corona pandemic that's going on. California is getting the back end of the stick on this one, along with Texas and Florida. And I guess a lot of the kids are starting because they kind of went out and partied and did what they did and then wound up giving it to their folks, because the average age is between 21 and 45. So that would be young people who are partying, giving it to their parents, and then spreading it on from there. Guys, wash your bloody hands. Get it over with. Let's get this thing done with, for crying out loud, so we can get this economy back to where it was a few months ago, and also get everyone healthy and alive. And I know, Janice, what did you do on your 4th of July weekend? I'm just pissed off.
Well, it was really nice because there was a fireworks display in our neighborhood. And They encouraged everybody not to come out. They did them so high. I don't know who paid for it. It wasn't the neighborhood, but somebody in the neighborhood. And it really was very nice. You could see them from your house. You could. They had it broadcast on television, so if you really wanted to watch that, you could. So at least you got a little bit of the taste of the 4th. So that was nice.
Oh, good for you. And then, Christian, you had a good time, you said?
I did, yeah. So my boys are in town for a month and a half over the summer, and we went to Virginia City, Lake Tahoe, just had a nice little vacation.
He's a true daddy right now.
Yes.
I love it. I do love it. I really do. Hey, I was going to ask you guys, because you guys live in Nevada, is there any places where people, amateurs, can go and dig for silver to see if there's any silver, or do you have to go through mine? Do you have to have a license? I was kind of curious about that.
In Virginia City, there's little tourist spots where you can pan for the gold, but I don't think that's quite what you're asking.
No, I mean, listen, I would have thought that silver is a lot easier to find than gold is. But is there a place to pan for gold there?
There is, yep, in Virginia City.
Oh, wow.
But I think it's commercially stuff that they bring in just for tourists.
Oh, is it like fool's gold, or is it real gold?
No, it's real gold, but not enough to
make
any money.
Not enough to make you money, buddy.
Oh,
sorry.
Wow. Listen, I'm all about the thing. Listen, I'll take any kind of money I can get, to be quite honest with you. I am broke. I'm so broke I can't even afford to pay attention. Boom, boom. Thank you. Was a good friend of mine. Well, he's passed away some years ago. He talked about his credit was so bad. He needed a cosigner when he paid cash. And I used to love
That's pretty bad.
It's got to be terrible. A couple things. First of all, folks, listen, you always ask about the tour. Always go to check out. We're not touring right now, but we will be very, very shortly when things get a little bit more calmer. Go to Basile Live, my website, BASILELIVE.com. And look what I'm doing. It's the Basile. Are you ready for it's the Venduza Palooza World Tour shirts. And here's the front side. And I got to send you guys. I promise I was going to say, here's the front side and here's the back side. This is cupping, folks. When you get Venduzas, it's the Basile Venduza Palooza World Tour. People are asking, where can I get the damn shirt? Go to BasileLive.com. Order it on there. If you are in the United States, that's the only place we can ship them to you, unless you get a large order, and we'll ship it over to Australia or the UK or anywhere around the world. We'll ship it to you. We'll work things out. You can always email it as well at info@basilelive.com. But find out about these shirts. These are great shirts. I got all the kids in the family wearing them. Look at that bad boy. Isn't that cute? Don't you like this?
Very nice. I like it.
Isn't that it? Yeah, the Venduza Palooza World Tour. I'm excited that we're back. We really are. I had a wonderful time. We're going to wind up doing a lot more, and I'm looking forward to actually talking to Gus Bilirakis, who'll be here at the bottom of half of the hour. And we'll discuss a little bit more of the things for all my fans that are watching right now. I love you guys. I really do. All of you. You've been great. I hope you had a great summer so far, and it's just, we got a little bit more left. But, folks, listen, we're going to be back. We got to do this thing where we have these sponsors, they buy commercials and everything. So we're going to be back after these words from our sponsors. You're listening to Official Basile.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station, the power of radio since 1967.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now, back to the show.
Oh, we are indeed back. You're listening to A Pinch of Basile all around the world, from Australia, all through Europe, all through South Africa, all through North America, and now South America. Even the Eskimos, if we're still allowed to say that, are listening to us. So everyone is listening. You can find me at Basile Fans on Facebook. That's BASILEFANS on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Check out my website at Basile Live, BASILELIVE. And don't forget, folks, because of we're all over the world, it's because of Greek Beat Radio.
Greek Beats Radio. Greek Beats Radio. Greek Beats Radio. Beats Radio.
Baby, that's right. It's all about Greek Beats Radio. Talked about that sexy yaya over in London the other day. Yeah, and she was like, I could see her saying, I can't believe you said anything tonight. I just went to the loo for no more than a few moments. And I'm like, I just don't know. And, we got to get her back on, Janice.
Yes, we keep saying that, and we haven't done it. So we
will get her back on the air, because I know we had some technical difficulties when we had her last time. But she has a wonderful book that it's called Do You Know Who I Am? And Adrian, we're going to get you back, so trust me on that. Listen, we're going to go to the stories right now. Some great stories. Folks, I'm talking phenomenal stories. I don't know where Janice gets these damn stories from, but sometimes things happen that, humans just can't explain, short term or for a long while after. Mysterious chupacabra. Isn't that beautiful?
It's just beautiful. You say it so well.
Chupacabra.
Say it again. What did you call that?
Chupacabra. If I say this to a woman, she's going to get pregnant just from me saying that.
Yeah, look out.
You know what I'm saying?
Look out.
I'll tell you. When I say chupacabra, I'm surprised half of the women right now who are listening are not like, oh my God, I got to get a pregnancy test. It's true. Yeah. Chupacabra, the mysterious chupacabra attacks. While the lore of a vampire-like beast existed in the Rio Grande region of Texas since 1970, usually described as a giant bird. It wasn't until the end of the mid-1990s when the chupacabra fears hit a fever pitch. In March of 1995, Puerto Rican farmer reported a series of attacks by the chupacabra, which translates into goat sucker. That's right. When you say goat sucker, there's something that just,
resonates. It resonates.
Yeah, it's just the hairs on the back of my ears. It does resonate. Goat sucker. After finding 8 sheep, well, evidently this was a confused goat sucker. He went for the sheep. 8 sheep dead and drained of their blood. The only evidence of the killings was a set of small puncture wounds on each animal. By August, the town of Canovras, or I should say Canovavras, saw more than 100 dead farm animals and pets, all drained of their blood, with similar wounds. While speculation initially considered satanic cults.
But isn't that exactly where you would go if you saw that, to a satanic cult?
Not so much. No. They're going for the lamb. I'm thinking they're Greeks that are a little bit confused. They're going for the lamb, past the goat, and right for the lamb.
Okay.
Evidently, it was. Could have been. No, it could have been. Very well, could have speculation. That's what it was. That satanic cults, many believers found it entirely possible that there were vampire beasts.
Oh, yeah, that would have been my second choice.
Of blood.
Right? I mean, come on. Are you kidding me?
I know that was the natural way to go, and I'm saying,
okay,
why not? On a blood-sucking frenzy. I mean, I don't know about you, and Christian, you too, but there's been times when I went, damn it, I wish I had me some blood. You know what I'm saying? Just to suck on, to drink a little something, with a gin. I think it's good. It's light for the summer. It's good. By the 2000s, attacks from the El Chupacabra sped throughout.
I love it.
We have effects here.
I've been waiting like 3 minutes for you to say El Chupacabra again.
Let me just do it for the hell of it one more time. By the 2000s, attacks from the El Chupacabra spread throughout Latin America, Florida, and Texas, where several residents and ranchers captured suspected beasts. Those simply, thought, though DNA tests show that the animals were simply coyotes or wild dogs with an intense mange.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
That is the right word, yes, mange.
Mange. Biologists believe there is no such thing as chupacabra. Your timing is for crap, but I'm going to go with it. It's okay. But instead, the attacks were the work of a frenzied coyotes with wild dogs that often kill, but leave behind their prey. As for the suspected blood draining, many of the examined animals lost an amount of blood typical of bleeding to death from a bite, proving that they weren't bloodsucker meals. And I'm sorry, let me repeat that again. Proving that they weren't a bloodsucker's meal, yet many chupacabra and it's getting better. Believers claim that the beast exists simply because the theorized wild dog attacks haven't been yet witnessed. So the legend of the chupacabra.
Nailed it.
Well, okay. You might as well pat yourself on the back.
You won't, so he's gonna, dang it.
Continue to haunt the night. All right, let's see what kind of sound effect he has for the toxic woman. Okay.
He's going to have to hear a little more about the toxic woman. Then
let me tell you, the story of the toxic woman sounds like a plot of a sci-fi movie, except it really happened. On February 19th, 1994, Gloria Ramirez entered the General Hospital in Riverside, California. Where else could this possibly happen? were complications attributed to advanced stage of cervical cancer. Within minutes, doctors and nurses who had contact with her mentioned the smell of ammonia before falling ill, with some even passing out due to fumes coming from Ramirez's body.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I mean, oh my God, honey,
really?
You smell. You smell like ammonia.
Well, not only that, I'm passing out because I'm next to you. My goodness.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, if you're in the bathroom, hell, clean it. You already got the smell of ammonia. You know what I'm saying? Just squirt some sweat on there and you'll be all right.
Oh, that's just disgusting. So what else would I expect from you, right?
Yeah, what did you expect, right? As a precaution, the emergency room was evacuated, and doctors and nurses were hospitalized for a side effect attributed to the unusual fumes. Ramirez died of heart failure that evening. The autopsy.
I had one ready for you.
Can we hear that again?
Fatality.
Where does the time go? Ramirez died of heart failure that evening. The autopsy on her body required the coroner's office to build a special enclosure and followed hazmat procedures, including suits and being washed with decontaminants afterwards. But the autopsy was inconclusive. While it's not perfectly clear what exactly happened or why Ramirez's body emitted ammonia-like fumes, doctors believe it was due to her cancer treatments. Ramirez is believed to have taken pain-relieving home remedies that included diethylmol sulfide, which built up in her body due to a urinary blockage. When oxygen was administered...
Hold it together. Come on, you can do this.
Okay. While oxygen was administered, the chemical transformed into dimethanol sulfone. You did this on purpose. And the use of the defibrillators on Ramirez would have changed the compound to dimethyl sulfate
yes,
as a poisonous gas. While researchers in the mid-1990s believed this to be a logical solution, additional testing was not possible due to decomposition of Ramirez's body, and so theories of extraterrestrial interference and the hospital's wrongdoing have continued to live on.
Extraterrestrial interference? That's where they went with that? Wow.
I was expecting dun, 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 but evidently...
There you go.
This is the most ridiculous story.
But you read it.
Yeah, I read it through because I'm an idiot. Evidently, life is just too stupid for me. Okay.
Goodness.
Okay. We got to work on your timing. Don't you have a comedy show that you do on the radio, Christian, for God's sakes? With your sidekick, Tony? Who's like Silent Bob. Is he your Silent Bob?
There you go. That's a good way to put it.
You like that? The second way. Folks, if you have questions coming up, make sure you call us at 844-790-8255. If you're on Facebook, make a comment. Let us know what happened. On the bottom of the hour, coming up right after these messages, we have Congressman Gus Bilirakis, who you love. He's come on the show many times. We have a lot of questions to ask him, especially about the Greek Orthodox Faith and Hagia Sophia. So stick around after these quick messages from our sponsors. You are indeed listening to the one and only Pinch of Basile show. We'll be right back.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
Oh, we are indeed back with a pinch of basil, herb, and rosemary's son. I am here. If you have questions as we go into these next two segments with my guest, Gus Bilirakis, Congressman Gus Bilirakis, call us at 844-790-8255. Chime in or give us a text Janice, what's that text number?
That is 775-237-2266.
And then you can also ask us questions on Basile Fans. Remember, we're all over the world, folks. So if you guys want, AmericaMatters.us, make sure you hit us on there. Make sure you get on us. But right now, it is with great pleasure to introduce a man who really needs no introduction if you listen to our show. He is a Congressman Gus Bilirakis, is a Republican from Palm Harbor, representing Florida's 12th Congressional District. He serves on the Energy and Commerce Committees and the Veterans Affairs Committee. He is the ranking member of the VA Economic Opportunities Subcommittee and a member of the VA Disabilities Assistance and Memorial Affairs Health Subcommittee and Communications and Technology Subcommittees. Gus works in a bipartisan manner, as he always does. His main priorities include controlling government spending, creating jobs for the middle class Americans, and finding ways for government to operate smaller and smaller and lowering taxes. Amen. Gus, I love you. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Basile. I appreciate it. It's great to be here. I'm in the Tarpon Springs office here, so we've got everything set up for you this time.
Well, I love it, and and I love how you have the outdoor thing behind you. It's nice to have Congress people have that type of luxury where they can actually go ahead, and it looks so real. I mean, I can see birds.
This is a painting.
It is a painting.
Seriously,
really?
We're just leasing the office, but this is a painting of where they throw the cross, the bayou.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could see that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Toss the cross.
Absolutely.
That's the Spring Bayou.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful place, and then of course the Spring Bayou is only a couple of blocks away from here.
And actually, folks, if you ever get a chance to hit Epiphany, you got to go down.
Yeah.
Listen, it was one of the best times I had was last year when I was with you for Easter during the Epiphany celebrations, and it was just fantastic. Gus, before we go on, listen, I'd be remiss if I didn't read a lot of people, who are Greek and of the Greek Orthodox Faith are having some difficulty actually trying to swallow this pill that the Turkish government is throwing on us with Hagia Sophia. You were quoted as saying and sending a message to President Erdogan saying that he must reconsider his action today. Tensions created by opening Hagia Sophia as a mosque will be devastating. It must be reestablished as purely a historic monument of exceptional and universal significance, as an unquestioned symbol of respect between religions and among people. The holy wisdom that we all call upon requires it remain a museum in the interest of our common humanity, brotherhood, and goodwill. And that was from you, Gus, and that was very well said. Tell the people kind of what's going on, all of the listeners all over the world, because we have them and they're listening to you right now.
Well, it was really a sad day when the court, the so-called court, appointed by Erdogan, the justices in Turkey, when they decided that Erdogan can legally turn Hagia Sophia from a museum to convert it to a mosque. And then, of course, he signed the decree that particular day. I believe it was this past Friday. On Tuesday, 1453, I believe May 29th, it was turned into. Obviously, we lost Constantinople, which was a very, very sad day. And then on Friday, we lost Hagia Sophia. Now, I will tell you this, in my heart, may not be during our lifetimes, Basile, maybe during your lifetime, but not mine. I believe that Hagia Sophia will one day become our cathedral again. And in our hearts, it still remains as an Orthodox cathedral. I visited in 2019. Erdogan is, he wants to be the next Sultan. And really, I mean, you hear this from experts as well. He wants to revive the Ottoman Empire to a certain extent. And this is a move that he made. Now, he made it for political reasons, too, within his country to appease the radical Islamic base that he has in his country. And I'm sure that the most moderate Turks are not in favor of what happened here. So, but he has these radical groups that he wants to appease, and he went through with it. A lot of folks thought that he would not, but we never can. It proves that we can never take anything for granted. Now, I worked very hard for over a month with the administration and others as well to prevent this from happening. But obviously, Erdogan is in charge of his country now. UNESCO has something to say about it, and then in theory they can veto, but he's not going to listen to UNESCO. Yeah,
didn't he break? He broke the agreement that Turkey made with UNESCO. He broke that agreement. How many other agreements and treaties has he broken since the First World War? Yeah. And Turkey. And the thing is, what do we do about him doing it? Is there anything that all Greek Orthodox Christians can do?
Well, I think, we all have to speak out, and we should speak up as one voice. I talked to the Archbishop last night, and he's very upset about it. And of course, all our groups all over the world are I was sick to my stomach all weekend that this happened. Now, Secretary Pompeo went to bat for us. I know that for sure. I communicated with him. Mm-hmm. I have been communicating with him all along on Hagia Sophia and other matters. And I know for a fact that he went to bat for us, and he was very sad when this happened. Now, he said that he's still going to work on it. Now, what they can do, they made a statement that everyone will have access to Hagia Sophia. So what I feel they should do, and others feel the same way, is allow us to have religious services in Hagia Sophia. That would be the right thing to do.
Agreed.
They can do their mosque, their services, what have you. But if he had any conscience, or if he wanted to appease the entire Christian world, he would allow us to have services, at least on the holidays. Now, this is not just an Orthodox issue. As you know, the first 1,000 years, it was a cathedral, a Christian cathedral, and the largest Christian cathedral in the world. So people are very upset, not only Orthodox Christians, and of course, that it's not just Greek Orthodox Christians. We have Orthodox Christians around the world, and the Coptic Christians are very upset about this too. And I know the Catholics are, and some of the evangelicals that I spoke to are very upset. So, he doesn't listen. Erdogan only listens to if there are consequences and sanctions. Like we opposed sanctions on on Erdogan for imprisoning Pastor Brunson, and it worked. Now I understand that other evangelicals in the country are being jailed, particularly pastors, or are being escorted out of Turkey. So there's not any religious freedom in Turkey, and I've told the president that. As a matter of fact, on Air Force One, I explained the whole issue to him with regard to Hagia Sophia, with regard to the Scholi, our school, our seminary at Halki. Right. And I was there. I went last year and met the Archbishop. He was not Archbishop at the time, but we met in the spring of last year before he was just a couple of weeks before he was appointed Archbishop to the United States. And what a beautiful place.
Oh, I'm sure. And but you know what? I think some of the things also that we've now put aside the sale of our F-35s, because they wanted the avionics that went with it. And we said no, because they were now dealing with the Russians and getting missiles. Right. And, so I think what we need to do as a as a people, as a government. And I know that the technical issues are involved because we're right on the border of Russia. I understand that. I mean, even back in the day in 74, I told my dad, when I was just a little kid, I said, well, Dad, don't we have listening posts on the border of Turkey? And it was like, yeah, forget that. Don't worry about that. He was like, a true Greek. But the thing is, we stopped that F-35 deal because they wanted the avionics. And I think we need to even go further than that. But, Gus, before we get on, because we got less than a minute to go in this segment, and we're going to ask you a lot more questions.
Sure.
Because I want to talk about possibly boycotting a lot of what's going on and the goods that they have, from rugs to towels to sheets to dry goods. And if we start doing that as a people all over the world, I'm talking Greeks and everyone else that's listening, we need to do that. We truly do. Gus will be with us. Gus, well, hold on, Gus. You're going to be back.
More,
We're going to talk some more. Folks, we're going to be back after these messages. We are with Congressman Gus Bilirakis, representing the 12th Congressional District in Tampa, Florida. We're going to be right back after these messages. More with the Contribution.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now, back to the show.
I was so glad you can join us right now on A Pinch of Basile. If you have any questions for me or my guest, Congressman Gus Bilirakis, just give us a call at 844-790-8255. Remember, you can also message us on Basile Fans. That's right, BASILEFANS. If you're watching the show, you can message, and my wonderful co-host Janice will let us know what the wonderful questions are that you had. And also, you can text us. Janice, what is that text number?
That is 775-237-2266, and I do have a comment.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, it's from Christina. She says, will tourism drop and millions lost once St. Sophia is turned into a mosque instead of a museum?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, of course it will. I mean, I listen, I'm not saying Muslims wouldn't go there. Of course they would. But I got to be honest with you. They want to go and see Hagia Sophia. That's all there's to it. It is our Mecca, if you will, that we go to see. And of course they're going to lose millions, but it's not enough. We need to now further the economic crunch to them. What's going to slow down? Don't buy olives from them. Don't buy anything from them. Don't buy anything. And, towels and sheets, dry goods. I mean, the towels that you dry yourself, the sheets that you sleep on, they are made mostly in Turkey. Don't buy them. The dry goods, figs, this, that, look where they're made. If they say Turkey, don't buy them. And I'm talking all over the world. Gus, tell us some more what's going on with Hagia Sophia that you were telling me, because I had to interrupt you because.
No, that's okay. I agree with what you said, Basile. There's no question, and I'd like to think that the administration will put sanctions on Turkey for doing this. There was a discussion today between the president and Erdogan, but I don't know what was said. I may find out in the next half hour, probably after the show, because I'm going to make another call. It's really devastating, and they will lose tourists. There's no question. They will lose tourists around the world, and it'll hit them in the pocketbook. When I went to Hagia Sophia, I went actually for business, because for this particular reason, I was on a religious freedom tour, and we went to Sudan, and then we went to Turkey, which I call Constantinople. Mm-hmm. That's the city, the great city that belonged to Greece. It was a Greek. I guess you might call it a Greek colony or state.
It was part of Greece. It was part of Greece, for God's sake.
Absolutely. And, so we know the significance. Christians around the world know the significance of it, Hagia Sophia. And I think they're going to lose money, because you have to pay when you get in. I went, and we had tears in our eyes. no question. No, they were some of the icons or the impressions on the walls of the church were defaced, and then you saw some Muslim symbols. But even Ataturk, excuse me, in 1935 converted, because it was a mosque for 500 years after we lost Constantinople in 1453. Right. He converted Hagia Sophia into a museum. So there was a lot of wisdom there, and it's been a museum for all these years. I know that there were some services. I guess Erdogan violated that agreement with UNESCO, and there were some Muslim services there. But again, I in my heart, I think it will be a church one day. Probably not during our lifetimes, but we love to see religious services, the very least, maybe on Christmas and Easter. Sure. It's only fair, but again, he's not a fair guy. But if the rest of the world leaders, put pressure on him, including our president, and I'd like to think he did today, and maybe prior to that, because I know the Secretary of State Pompeo was very adamant on it not being turned into a mosque. We may see some progress, hopefully, and of course they haven't even recognized the patriarch as ecumenical. And we talked about the Scholi, the school of Hagia, and the properties, but they're Orthodox Turks too. A lot of them are of Greek descent, obviously, but they are Orthodox Turks. They're Turkish citizens that are being deprived. Right over there, and there's no, as I said in the last segment, there's no religious freedom in Turkey.
Yeah, and tell them, quickly, Gus, because I want to get a few more questions in before we go. Tell them the importance of why we need to keep our status there, because that's where we basically pull the Holy Father from all the time. He has to be born in Turkey. Yeah. Right, to be with the Holy Father, like we have with Bartholomew, and that's why I really love our Archbishop that we have here as well. But if we take away that presence, it really screws up everything for our faith. And everyone loves their faith. I respect everyone's faith. I respect
of course,
Muslims' faith,
and the religious Jews, minorities, not even Orthodox Christians or non-Christians, religious minorities are very upset about this.
Absolutely.
Because he set a precedent. And, but you're right. The patriarch has to be a Turkish citizen. Absolutely. Okay. And also, I was informed of this, and I've checked on this, but I'm not 100% on this. But, we know why he closed Hagia in 1971, the seminary, because they want to wipe out Orthodoxy. In the country, but I believe you have to have gone to the school, the Scholi, which a lot of patriarchs and archbishops, to become a patriarch. So it is complicated, but it really isn't. I mean, there's no religious freedom. It's not a secular nation. It was founded as a secular nation. And at least Ataturk Mustafa, we used to call him, I guess that was his name. He had some wisdom. And in 1919 or 1923, they were founded as a modern nation. But this guy wants to go back to the Ottoman Empire.
Sure.
But the thing is, we talked about some of the issues concerning Greece and Cyprus. You're right. Turkey strategically has been something that we wanted to work with the Turks, and initially they worked with us, but not for a long time. Right. They're not a good ally, and there is some debate on whether they should be kicked out of NATO. Invading Cyprus in 1974. Now they're threatening to drill off the coast of Crete. between Crete and Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I understand northern Greece as well, near the Thraki area, the Thrace area off the coast. We just can't stand for that. And the U.S. has stood up for Greece. I mean, I've talked to people, behind the scenes. I'm not the guy that issues a press release every time I talk to somebody, but I do talk to people behind the scenes, and they are, our country, the U.S., is trying to stop this from happening, particularly invading the sovereignty of Greece and Cyprus. Drilling off the coast, the exclusive economic zone of Cyprus. But we have allies in the region. The U.S. has allies in the region. We have Israel. We have Cyprus. We have Greece. We have Jordan. We have France. That's Egypt, and more. So the Turks are boxed in, but it's their fault.
Sure. And the thing is, a lot of people are not aware.
Themselves.
People not aware, and we're going to make this quick because we got to leave it a little bit. Gus.
Okay.
Actually, Turkey has the largest military in NATO with over 1 million. I think 1 million troops that they have. I think that's one of the things that kind of makes me a little bit nervous about them. But Gus, before we go, please tell us about the new bill that you put together with the Democrats.
Yeah. This is a big bill, and it will be heard in markup tomorrow, which means that we're going to mark it up and possibly amend it. But I think we've had agreement with the Democrats and the Republicans on this particular bill. It has to do with mental health.
Great.
We have mental health parity now, but it's not being enforced. So what we're saying is that the insurance companies have to provide the same coverage for mental health illness as they do for physical ailment. And there's teeth in the bill, which says that if they do not, and we're going to audit these insurance companies, but if they do not abide by the law and have parity, then they will be revoked from the Medicare program. So this is really a serious bill. It's going to have a huge impact, positive impact. And I understand the Senate has agreed to take it up as well. So we got to keep you right there. And if people want to find out more about that bill, they can go to your website. Gus, Absolutely.
What is your website?
Absolutely.
What is your website, Gus?
Bilirakis.house.gov.
There you go. Folks, listen. Thank you, Congressman Gus Bilirakis. You've been more than wonderful. Reminders, don't forget to listen every week, Tuesday, 6 to 7 p.m. We can be heard all around the world on American Matters. If you miss any part of this show, make sure you contact us. Questions, comments, go to Basile Fans on Facebook. Thank you so much, Gus. I love it.
Folks,
Yasu,